Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Well, for a couple of days, the conversation that has dominated the public discourse is with regard to the 50+1 and the constitutional changes that were alleged to be made by the UPND or what they were purporting towards making. So if you remember, I even conducted a poll on this channel where I was asking if you guys thought it was necessary for us to make a change to our constitution with regard to changing it from the current 5-year term of a presidency and the members of parliament to a 7-year term, because that was what was in public domain and which you voted no. It was, if I remember very well, 78% of you voted against that. So eventually the president and State House decided to respond to the matter because it was not going away, it was just going further. So that is very commendable coming from State House. Instead of letting information or rumors keep on running and then you start doing damage control later on, it's better you're proactive about it and resolve an issue. So finally, State House or the office of the president decided to respond to that and push those rumors to rest. So this is a statement that came from the office of the president. So they say, President President Hichilema reiterates resolve to uphold constitution. We have noticed the emotive debate and distorted narrative being peddled by the opposition to the effect that the government wants to embark on a secret constitutional review process, specifically to extend presidential term limits from 5 to 7 years. For the avoidance of doubt, President Hakainde Hichilema sought to uphold and defend the Republican Constitution accordingly. President Hichilema remains resolute to defend the Constitution and has no interest in manipulating it for his personal benefit. The head of state, therefore, would like to assure Zambians, the Zambian people, that he will continue to uphold and defend the Constitution issued by Grayson Amasaka, Chief Communications Specialist, State House. So that's the official statement coming from State House or the president to say he has no intentions of changing the Constitution to his personal benefit, to change it from 5 years to 7-year term limits. Neither is it a secret process. So just to avoid the current rumors that have been spreading, that statement came from State House, to which members of the public responded. One of them is Fred Membe. He responded to that particular statement that came from State House, and he attaches that particular statement, says, why is Hichilema silent on the 50+1 and running mate clause? We take note of the statement from Mr. Hichilema, he tags the president there, in which he pledges to remain resolute in defending the Constitution and that he has no interest in manipulating it for his personal benefit. However, we find it highly malicious that Mr. Hichilema is only willing to address and commit to maintaining the 5-year presidential term limit clause and not other two contentious clauses which are critical to the current debate, specifically the removal of the 50+1 presidential winning threshold and revert to the first post-electoral system to avoid the rerun, which we know he fears and cannot win. So simply, that article Fred Member says that why didn't they also address a 50+1 clause there, the running mate clause, while they only talked about the extension of the term limit. And then also Mausampa also weighed in. He also touches the statement that came from State House. So Mausampa says State House reassures reassurance that there is no plans to amend the national constitution. Is time. Zambians hate what's that word? They concede. Oh, Zambians hate fidgeting, with their constitution towards the general election, no matter how necessary particular amendments may be. The MMD failed with the constitution review just before the 2011 elections, and so did the PF with the Bill 10 towards the 2021 general elections. Any attempts, therefore, by the current ruling party, the UPND, to touch the constitution before the 2026 general elections is bound to fail as well. Possible to win or lose without touching the constitution. It can be done in 2027. So this morning statement, this morning State House statement to the nation that there is no such plans to change the constitution is very wise and commendable. As I said, it is very wise, or it was timely for State House to issue that statement. So Mausampa simply reiterates that point there. And then earlier on in the afternoon, news spread that Michael Zulu's daughter was arrested, and he had put up this particular post. Michael Zulu says, latest, Muiza just received information that my daughter, comrade Muiza, and our colleagues have been detained from the ZESCO stand in the showgrounds and taken to a known location. Their phones are unreachable. Details follow as we try to locate them. And then he attaches a picture of his daughter. So he says, currently the nation is going through the show society or showground, what we refer to as showgrounds. And Muiza and friends had gone to the ZESCO stand, and it seems like that's where that incident happened. And the father put up that notice to say he cannot locate his daughter, and neither can he reach her or her friends via phone. So once that statement was put up, it was alleged she was arrested, and then the police responded to that immediately. So this was posted by Kalemba. So police refute rumors. Police swayed away social media speculations and announcements that 5 youths were arrested at the ZESCO showgrounds in Lusaka today. This afternoon, several social media platforms reported that 5 youths had been arrested after they visited the ZESCO stand at the showgrounds, where they went to ask questions concerning the current load shedding crisis. Dispelling the claims, police spokesperson Ray Amonga said in a statement that no such arrests were made at the stand in question or anywhere within the showgrounds by any officers. So he simply distances himself to say the Zambia police was not involved in that issue, and neither were they aware of that. We would like to categorically refute that claims that and clarify the situation to the public that the Zambia Police Service takes its mandate to uphold the law and order very seriously, and we are committed to ensuring safety and security of all event attendees. Ray Amonga. So simply say the police were simply distancing themselves from that arrest or the missing of those youths. And then later on, Michael Zulu did an update later on in the day with regard to what happened, and those are the youths that were involved in that particular incident. So Michael Zulu did an update, says, update on the ZESCO Showgrounds incident. Apologies for the late update. Our phone went off, he says. This afternoon, we engaged ZESCO in a meeting at the Lusaka Showgrounds following the detention of youth advocates, and then he touches the names of his daughters and the other people that were involved. The 2 male and 3 female activists were passing through the ZESCO stand in the showgrounds before being detained by ZESCO security. So now it's clarified it wasn't the Zambia police that were involved there, it's actually the ZESCO security. For wearing t-shirts calling for equal distribution of power, adherence to the load maintenance schedule, or load shedding, what we call in Zambia. The youth were bounded in a van and taken to ZESCO headquarters, where they were held before being driven back to the showgrounds later in the afternoon. Once contact was physically made, a meeting to resolve the impasse was held, and the youths were released without charge. While we are pleased that the incident was resolved amicably, we see the act of abduction and illegal detention by ZESCO as a gross violation of the rights of the individuals and abuse of power. So he simply says, in the first place, those are young youths who shouldn't have been arrested or taken to, pretty much, as he calls it, abduction. So that's what happened with regard to those youths. And then with regard to JJ Banda, more updates are coming through. If you remember, his situation was reported about 24 hours ago to say he had been taken to Chipata Hospital from detention. It was alleged to say he was paralyzed, and different signs of the story were spreading around. Even former President Edgar Chagalungu did an article about the same. It should be on this channel, on the community tab. So if you go on the community tab, you should be able to find this statement. He issued a statement with regard to the situation going on with JJ Banda. So this was in the Daily Nation. JJ condition deteriorates and gets admitted to Chipata General Hospital. As Sister Lenny says, God is in charge, because not even an animal can be treated the way brother has been treated, and complains that what had happened to him was a nightmare. So those are statements coming from the family. And then also there are PF MPs threatened to sue Deputy Speaker Moyo. Presidential term extension is madness. Just different headlines spreading there. So that's the news. And then Chief Etari responded to his people to say, this is how you mess us. You mess us up. If you are going to be sending me fake pictures, how do I operate? The picture is not JJ. He has not been amputated, because some of the news that started spreading was to say, no, not only was JJ alleged to be paralyzed, but also to say he had been amputated because of his situation. So Chief Etari there is responding to his people, say someone sent him pictures, probably in his inbox, alleging to say that was JJ Banda who was amputated. So he was simply responding to his people to say, how is he going to operate if you keep feeding him propaganda or false information? So you're simply saying, stop that. Yeah. And then Fred member also weighed in on the JJ issue. Even previously, he had made a statement once JJ was taken to police, to hospital. Says release Emmanuel to his family. We demand justice for Emmanuel JJ Banda. That's Fred member. He attaches. Tags. JJ Banda's page. Honorable Emmanuel J. Banda's health is collapsing in our eyes, and we can all see how far the UPND and it attaches or tags the president there. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema can go with their vindictiveness. What kind of Christians are these people? It is not justice that they are pushing in this case of Emmanuel JJ Banda. It is vindictiveness. It is vengeance. This is not the rule of law the UPND promised Zambian, the Zambian people. This is barbarism. And then release Emmanuel now, please. And then he signs it off as a Fred member there. So that's a statement coming from Fred. And then the Minister of Home Affairs was asked to give a statement with regard to JJ Banda in Parliament, either on Jack Mwimbu, and he was giving a statement. So part of the statements he was giving was alleged to be a lie, according to Emmanuel Mwamba. So Emmanuel Mwamba attaches the video of Jack Mwimbu in Parliament, and he says, lying with emotions. Petauke Central Independent Member of Parliament, Honorable Emmanuel J. Banda, only named his abductors in the civil court process, but has not done so in his statement to the police, claims Minister of Home Affairs and Interior Security, Jack Mwimbu. So there's been that argument to say the allegations that JJ Banda had put up with regard to people that had abducted him. So they say that statement has not yet officially been given to the police. according to that statement there. Anyway, more details will come later on with regard to that. Why is Musamba keeps issuing statements? This is the UPND supporter based in the UK, and she seems to be switching now, or I don't know, being independent. So she put up this article here. So Musamba Barbara Bachama says, on the flip side, let us be thankful, Wane. If UPND had not been given the opportunity to rule, some Zambians would have carried on the notion that only the northern and eastern regions produce thieves. It is clear now, bamonekera na nibapompwe nabo bene. They didn't just have the opportunity. So she simply says now that the UPND is in power and the corruption cases keep on piling up, only shows to say there are also thieves that did not just have the opportunity, allegedly. This is in the news diggers. Let SEC probe, or that's the Anti-Corruption Commission, probe army defense. We will not defend corrupt individuals, mwetwa. So with those corruption cases going on. And then Musa Mwenya says, I regret serving as Anti-Corruption Commission chairman. This statement that's coming from Musa, his credibility with regard to the public was lost from a time. He cannot start issuing these statements after leaving this office. He's been regarded to just be like a person just speaking from without at this point, because he was held in high regard with the public. If he issues a statement, people used to regard him. But ever since this incident and him being removed as chair and not him resigning, people just regard him to say he was in it for his personal benefit at this stage. So he has a lot to work out for him to gain the graces of the public. As things stand right now, no matter how many statements he makes about this, it's just noise in the background. The public is not with him. It's like what happened to Chimbagambwe at some point, where when Chimbagambwe issues a statement, the entire nation would feel it and would back it, until it just went left. Everyone was just disregarding it. That's where Musa Mwenya has reached at this stage. So anyway, it's not irredeemable, but he has a lot to work out for him to gain the graces of the nation. At this point, people are just like, no, dude, you are just fired. That's why now you're saying, no, you regret. No, if you regretted it initially, why didn't you resign? Politics. Anyway, Vice President says Anti-Corruption Commission will review the names of ministers under investigation once the probes are complete. So this was reported by Phoenix FM, Zambia. So Vice President Mutale Nalumango has assured the nation that the Anti-Corruption Commission will review the names of ministers and other top officials, government officials, under investigation once the probe thoroughly completed. During the Vice President question time in Parliament, Mufulira Member of Parliament, Gordon Miller, inquired about whether there is a legal requirement for government or the Anti-Corruption Commission to disclose the names of individuals under investigation, particularly in the context of the selective disclosure. So, to which, in a response, Mrs. Nalumango explained that no specific law mandates government or the Anti-Corruption Commission to publicly name individuals being investigated at this stage, stating that while transparency is important, the primary focus now was to allow the Anti-Corruption Commission to conduct its investigations impartially and act thoroughly. Mrs. Nalumango has also indicated that the Anti-Corruption Commission is working diligently to ensure comprehensive and fair investigation of, and emphasized that the names of those involved will be disclosed when the cases are ready for court proceedings. So that's a response to that, to someone. And then Roland responded saying, just keep them. We are not interested. What change will it make? Fighting corruption is not for Zambia. So simply saying, keep those names at this point. Why didn't you review them initially? And then this was in the mass newspaper. Say HH is on the test, is on test and must be tough to conduct. The conduct of his appointees, a reflection of himself. Siatubo. or there. So and then come 2026, Hichilema will still be president. Kaisala there. What else? And then the police say extortion cases are now being mistaken for abduction, not Samonga. So it seems like he's simply saying every statement now is being referred to as an abduction. So some of those cases are extortion cases. And then, unfortunately, it was confirmed that Matthew Ngosa died from liver cancer. That's what took the life of that gospel musician. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
In terms of filmmaking,
one
of it, we don't even have the school yet to train filmmakers.
All sectors of the industry.
Yes.
In most industries now, no, we want the PhD or that's predominant.
For instance, if your peers have moved from a certain stage,
from bachelor,
yes, maybe from bachelor, so for you to interact with them, they'll be talking of school fees, what. So you become uncomfortable, you feel like they are posting.
Because we are mingling with him, we think, no,
so if you want to build back home, there are a lot of real estate agents, there are a lot of companies you can pay, and they will do a very good job. Those who have moved out of Zambia some time back, they have got a certain notion about Zambia. Zambia, I think, by now has really changed and developed.
A year into it, you start looking for land, some place, some property, and stuff like that. But for a lady, my friend, she earns way more money, but getting into real estate, I don't know why that's not common amongst ladies. In as much as initially you had agreed, no, person, we can't pay a fee for a long time. Once they